You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're not unworthy. But you are stuck. And if you're honest with yourself, you've been stuck for a while now. You know what needs to be done. You've known for days, weeks, months, maybe even years. The plan isn't the problem. You've read the books. You've watched the videos. You've written the to-do lists over and over again. But the doing? That's where everything falls apart. Let's name the enemy right now. Procrastination. It wears 1,000 masks. I'll start tomorrow. I just need more time. I don't feel ready yet. I work better under pressure. Lies. Polished, persuasive lies whispered to keep you comfortably caged. But the truth? The truth is brutal. You are wasting your life. Every day you wait, every task you delay, every goal you shelve for later. It's all theft, a robbery happening in broad daylight. And the thief isn't out there. It's inside you. Because procrastination isn't just a bad habit. It's self-sabotage disguised as patience. It's fear wrapped in rationality. It's your comfort zone building a coffin around your potential. And it ends now. Not next Monday. Not after the holidays. Not when motivation strikes. Now, because the pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret, that lasts a lifetime. Let's rewind. Why do you procrastinate? Not the surface reasons. Not the fake ones you tell others. Let's get real. Fear of failure? Or maybe fear of success? Perfectionism? Lack of clarity? A lifetime of being told you're not enough? Whatever the root, it doesn't matter now. Because roots can be ripped out and replaced. This is not just about productivity. This is about your power. You were not born to coast. You were not built to drift. You were made to move. And motion, even the smallest step, is how we begin to break the chains. So, let's get tactical. Let's talk about the weapons that kill procrastination. You don't overcome procrastination by changing your habits. You overcome it by changing your identity. You don't try to be disciplined. You become someone who doesn't wait. You don't hope to be consistent. You decide that inconsistency is no longer part of your story. Every time you act against procrastination, you cast a vote for the future version of you, the one who doesn't just dream but executes, the one who doesn't just plan but finishes, the one who doesn't make excuses but makes moves. Start small, ridiculously small. You don't have to climb the mountain today, but you do have to take the first step. Set the bar low, so low you can't say no. Open the laptop. Write 1 sentence. Do 5 push-ups. Read 1 paragraph. Just begin. Because momentum doesn't come from thinking. It comes from movement. You're not a machine waiting to be fully charged. You are fire waiting for a spark. Don't manage time. Own it. Block your hours, like your life depends on it. Because it does. If it's not on the calendar, it's not real. Say no to randomness. Say no to multitasking. Say no to drifting through your day like a ghost. From 9 to 10, I write. From 10 to 11, I build. From 11 to 12, I conquer. You don't need more hours. You need more intention. Comfort is a drug, and procrastination is the dealer. It offers you short-term ease at the cost of long-term greatness. You don't feel like doing it? Good. Do it anyway. You're tired? Perfect. Do it tired. You're scared? Beautiful. Do it scared. You think champions feel ready every day? They don't. They just show up anyway. You don't break free by waiting to feel good. You break free by acting, even when you don't. This is the beginning. Just the beginning. We're going to dive deeper. We're going to dismantle the lies brick by brick. We're going to expose the hidden patterns. We're going to build a battle plan so strong, Procrastination won't stand a chance. But first, I need you to decide. Not someday. Not eventually. Right now. Are you done waiting? Then say it. Out loud. Say it so the universe hears you. I am done waiting. I will not delay my greatness any longer. I am no longer a servant of procrastination. I move. I rise. I execute. Procrastination doesn't announce itself. It creeps in quietly, like a whisper in the back of your mind. Just one more scroll. One more episode. You've got time. But here's the truth. You don't. Time is not your toy. It's your test. And while you wait for the perfect moment, life keeps moving. Opportunities pass. Dreams decay. And days become decades. Listen carefully. You are not overwhelmed. You are overthinking. You are not unmotivated. You are unfocused. And what you need is not another break. You need a breakthrough. There are two voices inside you. One says, let's get it done. The other, let's do it later. The problem is, you've been listening to the second voice for far too long. That voice sounds sweet. It wants you to feel safe. It wants you to stay in the shallow end. But you were built for deep waters. You were not born to blend in. You were born to break barriers. So from this point forward, if your inner voice whispers weakness, you speak back with power. You say, I don't negotiate with mediocrity. I don't compromise with comfort. I don't reason with resistance. You move. And every time you move, you prove that voice wrong. Here's the trap. You think you need to feel energized to start. But that's a lie. You don't wait for energy. You create it. Action first. Energy follows. This is the law. Motion fuels motivation. Start moving, and your body wakes up. Start doing, and your brain gets in gear. You want motivation? Get your ass in motion. Let's talk about your comfort zone. It feels good, doesn't it? Warm, familiar, safe. But it's also where dreams go to die. No one grows in a comfort zone. No one levels up. No one conquers their potential while wrapped in a blanket of someday. Every time you choose comfort, you choose stagnation. You choose repetition over evolution. And make no mistake, your comfort zone is killing you slowly. If it doesn't scare you, it won't stretch you. And if it won't stretch you, it can't save you. Want to destroy procrastination? Start by destroying distractions. Your phone? It's a dopamine trap. Your notifications? They're a leash on your freedom. Block, mute, delete. Silence the noise. Your goals are sacred, and sacred things must be protected. Set a timer, 25 minutes. Lock in. No scrolling, no checking, no grazing the web. Laser your mind onto one thing. Then rest. Then repeat. Because focus isn't a talent. It's a discipline. Train it like a muscle. Push it every day. Watch it grow stronger. And as your focus sharpens, your future ignites. Here's the thing nobody wants to say. Success is boring. It's not always fireworks and fanfare. It's repetition. It's routines. It's showing up on the days when you feel nothing. And if you can learn to sit in the silence, if you can learn to keep working when it isn't fun, you'll outlast everybody who only moves when it's exciting. You want to be great? Learn to love the grind. Not the fantasy. The grind. If you're afraid of doing something, that's probably the thing you must do. Fear is a compass. It points you toward growth. It shows you where the treasure is buried. So chase what scares you. Run into it head on. And every time you do, you gain power. You don't wait for fear to disappear. You act in spite of it. Because bravery isn't the absence of fear. It's refusing to obey it. Ah, yes. Tomorrow, the most dangerous word in your vocabulary. You say you'll start tomorrow. You say you'll commit tomorrow. But tomorrow is a coward's escape route. It's where ambition goes to rot. There is no tomorrow. There is only now. Now is the only thing that's real. Every second you delay, you hand your life over to hesitation. You give your power to postponement. And one day, you run out of tomorrows. That's the cruel trick. You think you have time, but time is not yours. It's borrowed. And one day, you'll have to pay it back. So stop deferring your destiny. Show up. Today. Even if it's ugly. Even if it's slow. Even if it's small. Because done is better than perfect. And action is better than regret. Everything you've believed about yourself. Everything you've told yourself about why you can't start. It ends now. Burn the script. That identity, the procrastinator, the excuse maker, the avoider, that's not you. That's a chapter, not the whole book. And guess what? You hold the pen now. Write something different, something bold, something bloody and real and alive. Because this isn't just about defeating procrastination. This is about becoming unstoppable. You want change? Then change your story. Because the story you've been telling yourself, it's not the right time. I'm not good enough yet. I'll start after I feel better. That story is a lie. And it's not harmless. It's a virus. It's infected your ambition. It's paralyzed your purpose. But here's the miracle hiding in the madness. You can rewrite it. Right now. You are not doomed to repeat. You are not stuck in stone. You are not your past behavior. You are the author. You're the damn architect. So build something worth bleeding for. Forget about motivation. Motivation is a mood, a feeling. It's weak. It fades. What you need is rituals. Rituals are sacred. They are decisions made in advance. They don't ask how you feel. They just get done. You brush your teeth every day. Not because you're inspired, but because it's who you are. Now imagine bringing that same energy to your work, to your body, to your vision. No more negotiating with laziness. No more bargaining with the voice that says, skip today, you'll catch up tomorrow. That version of you is done. Now it's wake up, show up, execute, repeat. Not because it's easy, not because it's glamorous, because it's necessary. Burnout is real, but procrastination wears burnout as camouflage. You're not always burned out. You're often disorganized. You try to do it all in one day. You push, crash, then avoid. You sprint, stall, then sink. So stop trying to sprint your way to transformation. Instead, build a system, a rhythm, a lifestyle. Start with 3 things a day. 3 priorities. 3 wins. If you do more, great. But 3 is enough. Because consistency eats intensity for breakfast. Every single time. You don't need to be extraordinary once. You need to be reliable every day. You keep waiting for someone to check on you, to push you, to hold you accountable. But let me tell you something. Nobody is coming. No mentor. No boss. No parent. No friend. This is on you. You are your own accountability. You are your own rescue team. You are your own wake-up call. So stop outsourcing your discipline. Take back the wheel. Look in the mirror and say, if I don't build it, it won't get built. And then go build it. Don't confuse motion with progress. Just because you're doing a lot doesn't mean you're doing what matters. Scrolling through emails? Not the mission. Organizing your desk for the 4th time? Not the mission. Making another to-do list? Not the mission. You know what the mission is. It's the thing you're avoiding. The thing that scares you. The thing that stretches you, that's your real work. So stop hiding behind fake productivity. Do the hard thing, the ugly thing, the necessary thing. Because that's where growth lives. On the edge of discomfort. Right past the lie called busy. Let's talk price tags. Every time you procrastinate, you pay. Not in dollars. In dreams. You pay in the form of missed chances. Unwritten books. Unstarted businesses. Unsaid truths. Untapped greatness. And the worst part? You don't see the cost until it's too late. You wake up one day and realize, that idea you had? Someone else ran with it. That skill you wanted? Someone else mastered it. That version of you could have been? You never met them. Why? Because you waited. Let that sink in. This isn't just about getting stuff done. It's about who you're becoming. And procrastination robs you of that. Every morning you wake up, you have a decision to make. Will you serve your fear? Or your future? Will you let your feelings lead? Or your commitment? Will you chase dopamine? Or discipline? Because greatness isn't made in a moment. It's made in the moments you don't want to move. But do anyway. It's made when you keep showing up, even when no one's watching. Even when it's hard. Even when the excuses scream. You have a choice. And every choice is a step toward your future or away from it. So ask yourself, which direction are you walking in? This world is full of people who never became what they could have been. Not because they weren't smart, not because they weren't talented, but because they kept putting it off, because they never started, because they never finished. Don't be one of them. Close the gap every day. One step closer to your potential. One layer deeper into your purpose. One act of war against your weaker self. This isn't about speed. It's about alignment. Start walking like the person you were born to be. Talk like them. Plan like them. Work like them. And watch the gap disappear. You've heard the voice in your head. You know the one. The whisper that says, you'll never follow through. You always mess this up. You're just not that disciplined. But what if I told you that voice isn't the real you? That voice is old code. A loop from a past that no longer serves your future. And every time you choose action over avoidance, you rewrite it. This is your reboot. This is your reprogramming. This is how you become dangerous to delay. Let's get real. Discipline isn't just about willpower. It's about your arena. You can't stay sharp in a dull room. You can't stay focused in a space built for distraction. Your phone? Is it a tool? Or a weapon aimed at your attention? Your room? Is it clean? Or is it chaos? Your friends? Are they allies of action or agents of apathy? Because every detail matters. Your environment whispers to your mind. It tells you what's normal. And if you live in a lazy room, you'll live a lazy life. Change your space. Clean it. Strip it. Rebuild it for purpose. Make your environment so aligned with your mission that procrastination feels unnatural. You don't need another hype video. You don't need more caffeine, or quotes, or goosebumps. You need progress. You need proof. Do the work. Then look back and say, damn, I built that. That's the kind of motivation that lasts. That's the fuel that doesn't fade. Because every step you take, every rep, every word, every hour, it stacks. It builds a version of you that becomes undeniable, unstoppable, unshakable. Don't wait to feel like a machine. Act like one and become one. Watch your mouth. Seriously, every time you say, I have to, you turn purpose into punishment. I have to write. I have to work out. I have to get up early. Nah, you don't have to. You get to. You get to write. You get to build. You get to rise when others sleep. Change your language. Change your frequency. Speak like someone who's already become the version they're chasing. Because words aren't just sound. They're signals. And your brain is always listening. Here's a cheat code. Call it the 5-minute rule. Whatever you're avoiding, commit to doing just 5 minutes of it. 5 minutes of writing. 5 minutes of running. 5 minutes of focus. What happens next? Momentum. Because action is addictive. Once you start, it's easier to keep going. The hardest part isn't the work, it's the start. So make the start tiny. Make it too small to fail. And let momentum do the rest. You don't need more inspiration. You need more grit. You need the kind of spirit that doesn't flinch when it's hard. The kind that shows up tired, broken, and unsure, but shows up anyway. This world doesn't reward the inspired. It rewards the resilient. So don't wait to be inspired. Don't wait for the spark. Be the spark. Be the one who ignites the room, not the one who waits for light. Because resilience isn't about how loud you roar. It's about how long you stand. Even when nothing's working. Even when no one's clapping. Even when progress feels invisible. Here's a trap smart people fall into. They mistake planning for progress. They map it all out. Color-coded calendars. Detailed outlines. New productivity apps. But none of it matters unless you move. Planning is preparation. Execution is transformation. So celebrate when you finish, not when you start. Completion is the currency of progress. You ever think about them? The future you. The version who's done the work. The version who made the sacrifices. The version who broke free. They're out there, waiting. And every action you take today, it's a down payment on that version. You don't just owe it to your goals. You owe it to them. You owe it to the version of you who wakes up one day and doesn't recognize the old pain, who looks around and says, I built this with my own hands, from my own discipline. Every day you're either building that person or betraying them. So ask yourself, what kind of ancestor are you to your future self? Let's get brutally clear. You don't need to wait until January. You don't need a new journal, a new schedule, a new moon. You need a new standard. And that starts now. Not because the timing is perfect, but because your patience with delay has finally run out. This is the turning point. This is the moment where the old story crumbles and the new one rises. Not someday. Not after the next excuse. Now, here's the truth no one wants to hear. You're not waiting for the right time. You're hiding. Hiding behind planning. Hiding behind research. Hiding behind rest. And deep down, you know it. You know that if you don't change something now, you'll be telling the same story a year from today. Still behind. Still overwhelmed. Still stuck in the cycle of almost. But almost is not your destiny. Almost doesn't build legacies. And almost sure as hell won't save your life. So this is it. Your intervention. Not from me. From you. Let's talk about pain. Not the obvious kind. Not broken bones or heartbreak. The kind you don't see until it's too late. The quiet, creeping ache of untapped potential. The regret that settles in your chest at 2 a.m. The realization that time moved, but you didn't. That's the pain of procrastination. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It waits. And then one day, it owns you, unless you burn it down today. Discipline isn't a 30-day challenge. It's not a weekend hustle. It's a lifestyle. You don't dip in and out. You live it. You breathe it. You become it. Because the people who win, the ones you look at and wonder how they did it, they didn't get lucky. They got ruthless with their habits. They said no to the 95% of things that don't matter. They said yes to showing up, even when it wasn't convenient, even when no one was watching, especially then. You want a life that others dream of? Then do what others won't. Someday is a disease, a slow, subtle death sentence for your purpose. You keep saying it like it's a promise, but it's a prison, a lie wrapped in comfort. Someday becomes never, and never becomes your life. There is no later, no perfect window, no magical burst of energy coming to rescue you. All you have is now, the seconds slipping between your fingers, the heartbeat you feel in your chest this very moment. And that is your invitation. Not to wait, to move. Sometimes the only way out is through the fire. Get angry. Get fed up with wasting your potential. Use that fire. Fuel the discipline. Burn the excuses. Sear the old identity until it's unrecognizable. And then, get clear. What are you building? What are you chasing? What will your life cost if you keep procrastinating? Put it on paper. Stare it down. Then tear that page up and go take the first damn step. You're not always going to be excited, and that's fine, because excitement is for amateurs. Consistency is for killers. The real pros? They know the work is often boring, monotonous, repetitive, and they do it anyway, day after day, set after set, page after page, even when the thrill is gone. Especially then. That's where mastery lives. That's how excellence is earned. So stop chasing motivation. Chase craft. Chase standards. Chase consistency that doesn't flinch. People will question you. They'll mock your discipline. They'll laugh when you say no to the party, to the binge, to the break. Let them. Because they're not the ones living with your potential. You are. They don't have to look your future in the face. You do. So you don't owe anyone an explanation for your standards, your routines, your grind. You only owe the future a life well built. How many times have you said it? This time I'm serious. This time I'm going all in, only to fall off. Again, and again, and again. But here's the secret. You don't need to start over. You just need to continue. Get back in. Don't make it dramatic. Don't make it emotional. Make it automatic. Because the winner isn't the one who never fails. It's the one who never quits. Read that again, slowly. Your excuses, the reasons you keep telling yourself why today's not the day, they will never build your dream. They will never create your wealth. They will never leave a legacy worth remembering. They will build regret. They will build emptiness. They will build a life that looks full from the outside, but feels hollow on the inside. And that's not what you're here for. That's not what you were born for. You were made for impact, for purpose, for execution so relentless it echoes. There's no in between. You don't get to entertain procrastination and expect greatness. You don't get to coddle your comfort zone and chase excellence. You must choose. Every morning, choose. Every night, choose. Every uncomfortable moment, choose. This is a war between the version of you that wants it and the version of you that waits for it. And only one survives. So rise, move, execute, repeat, until the old you is nothing but a memory. Let's stop pretending this is just about discipline. This is about something deeper. It's about becoming someone you respect. Because the truth is, procrastination doesn't just waste time. It erodes self-trust. Every time you delay what matters, you teach yourself that your own word means nothing. You promise, I'll do it later, and then you don't. You say, this week is different, and then it's not. Until one day, you look in the mirror and see a stranger. Someone you don't believe anymore. Someone who's always almost, but not this time. Because now, we rebuild trust. We rebuild belief. We become the one who finishes. Not to them. To you. When you show up for your work, your craft, your calling, you don't just get closer to your goals. You become someone who cannot be ignored. By your inner critic, by the world, by the weak version of you that used to lead. Because execution becomes identity. And when you live like someone who finishes, everything changes. People notice. Doors open. You stop needing validation because your actions validate themselves. If you're uncomfortable, you're on the right path. Let that sink in. Struggle doesn't mean you're off track. It means you're deep in the work. It means you've left the comfort zone and entered the growth zone. It means you're stretching, strengthening, leveling up. Don't run from hard. Lean into it. Embrace the ache. Let it forge you. Because ease never made a warrior, and comfort never made a king. Let's kill the myth. You don't need motivation. You need automation. Make your routine so solid that you don't have to think, you just move. Here's how. 1. Anchor it to identity. Don't say, I'm trying to write. Say, I'm a writer and I write daily. 2. Make it frictionless. Remove all resistance. Lay out your gear. Clear your space. Create a launch pad, not a battlefield. 3. Track it. Visibly. A calendar, a chart, a chain. Let your progress stare you down every day. 4. Never miss twice. You'll fall, that's human. But don't let one miss become momentum in the wrong direction. Routines aren't magic. They're math. Show up, J on. Repeat, results. Procrastinators romanticize beginnings. Winners are obsessed with finishing. They don't need perfect starts. They don't need the stars to align. They just cross the damn line. Over and over. With grit, with flaws, with fire. So stop chasing the perfect time to begin. Start chasing the power of being done. Because done is sacred. Done is freedom. Done is how you build momentum that never stops rolling. Let this tattoo itself into your brain. That thing you're avoiding? It might be uncomfortable for an hour, a day, a week. But the regret of not doing it? That stays. It etches itself into your memory. It whispers at your quietest moments. It haunts you at the end. So when you're tempted to delay, ask yourself, do I want temporary discomfort or permanent disappointment? And then choose power. Stop trying to leap a mountain in one go. Start with the next 5 feet, then the next 5, then the next. Progress is built in inches, not miles. Here's what wins look like. Opening the dock, writing 1 sentence, doing 1 push-up, saying no to 1 distraction, showing up, even if it's messy. Stack those wins. Track them. Let them snowball. Because when you stack enough wins, your brain starts to believe, I am consistent, I do finish, I can become unstoppable. And once your brain believes, your body follows. This is not a phase. This is your standard. Forget trying this for 30 days. Forget seeing how it goes. This is not an experiment. This is who you are now. Your new standard is, you don't delay. You execute. You don't live by moods. You live by mission. You don't talk about it. You build it. When you treat your goals like life or death, everything changes. Because in a way, it is. The life you want depends on this. The version of you that's waiting to rise, it depends on this. This isn't temporary. This is your becoming. Let's end with brutal honesty. There are 2 futures waiting for you. One is built by distraction. The other by discipline. One leads to a life of stories about what could have been. The other leads to a life that becomes a story worth telling. And every hour, every task, every tiny act of movement, it tilts the scale. You get to choose. Not once, but every day. And today? Today, you choose to move. Look around. How many people do you know who have talent but no traction? Who talk big but never finish? Who want the dream but don't have the discipline to walk it? That's not going to be you. Not anymore. Because now you see it for what it is. Procrastination isn't a harmless delay. It's resistance with a mask on. It's fear wearing a friendly face. But now you've ripped the mask off. And now you build without apology. Let's talk about standards. You don't need more goals. You need more non-negotiables. Things you do no matter what. Things that don't ask for permission. Things that happen even on the worst day. For example, I write 500 words every day. I train even if it's light. I wake up at 6 a.m. no matter how I feel. I don't touch my phone for the first hour. I do the hard thing first, always. These aren't preferences. They're law. Because the more decisions you lock in, the fewer temptations can pull you off course. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being non-negotiable. Here's a trick to murder hesitation. If you think of a task that matters, do something toward it within 3 seconds. Email to send? Open the inbox. Workout to start? Drop for a push-up. Script to write? Open the doc. Don't think. Move. Because overthinking is the seatbelt of progress. And you don't need a seatbelt right now. You need speed. You need flow. You need decisions that become movement. Make it a reflex. Thought. Action. Idea. Motion. Plan. Execution. Now, you know this already. Every yes you give to distraction is a no to your vision. You cannot say yes to everything and expect a life that looks like excellence. Say no to half-hearted tasks, energy-draining people, projects with no purpose, meetings that could have been silence, mindless scrolling that steals your soul. Protect your time like your life depends on it. Because it does. Your future isn't stolen by sabotage. It's stolen by small, polite compromises. So say no. Say it loud. Say it like your dream depends on it, because it does. You've heard it before. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But really think about that. Feel it. Because if you're surrounded by excuse makers, you inherit their pace. If you're around people who settle, you start shrinking your vision just to fit in. And guess what? Your greatness wasn't built to fit in. Audit your circle. Ask yourself, do they stretch me? Do they challenge me? Do they move when I move? And if the answer's no, you already know what to do. Cut, elevate, replace. Not with arrogance, but with urgency. You have one life. You don't owe proximity to people who poison your momentum. Stop reacting. Start commanding. Are you living in reaction mode? Answering every ping. Responding to every request. Getting pulled into battles that don't belong to you. Stop. You're not a puppet. You're the commander. Your time doesn't belong to the world. It belongs to your mission. So here's the shift. You don't react to your day. You design it. You block your time. You claim your morning. You build a plan and stick to it like it's gospel. Because when your day is reactive, your life becomes reactive. But when your day is intentional, your life becomes undeniable. You are your own competition every single day. Forget comparing yourself to others. Forget measuring your speed against their path. That's noise. There is only one metric that matters. Are you better than you were yesterday? That's it. That's the game. Beat your past. Outwork your doubt. Outlast your fear. The person you were yesterday? They're the enemy. Beat them today. Then bury them tomorrow. This is self-warfare. The noblest kind. The kind where no one else sees the battle, but everyone sees the results. Repetition breeds reputation. Let me tell you something sacred. Your reputation? It's built in silence. In the dark. When no one's cheering. When no one's watching. When the world's asleep. And you're still going. That's where greatness is forged. Not in loud declarations, but in quiet execution. So if no one's clapping for you right now, good. That's not a curse. It's a signal. It means you're still early. It means you're building something real. And if you stay consistent, the world won't be able to ignore you for long. This isn't hype. This isn't temporary. This isn't nice to hear. This is now your default setting. You don't wait. You move. You don't stall. You start. You don't dip in and out of your greatness. You live in it. Because from this point forward, procrastination doesn't lead. You do. Execution isn't a tactic. It's your identity. And you don't need permission. You just need to keep going. There's a shift that happens when you go from hoping to knowing. When you stop waiting to be saved and realize no one's coming. No mentor. No motivation fairy. No lightning bolt moment. Just you. Your hands. Your mind. Your fight. And when that hits you, you stop running from the work. You start becoming it. You stop romanticizing ease. You start respecting the grind. Because now you understand. Discipline isn't punishment. It's liberation. Let's diagnose the real issue. You're not lazy. You're not even distracted. You're unclear. You haven't decided what matters most. And what's not defined becomes delayed. So how do you kill the fog? Simple, ruthless clarity. Ask yourself, what's the one thing I can do today that moves everything forward? What outcome am I chasing, and why does it matter? What will my life look like if I never commit to it? Then write the answer. Speak it. Own it. Clarity turns intention into direction. And direction kills hesitation on sight. Let's drop the entitlement. You don't deserve more time. You earn it through ownership. You earn it by cutting what doesn't matter. By deleting the distractions you once protected. By choosing purpose over popularity. The world doesn't hand out hours. It rewards those who command them. So instead of begging for more time, design your hours with surgical precision. Your calendar should look like war plans. Your schedule should protect your priorities like royalty. Because when you act like time is priceless, you stop wasting it like it's free. Let's expose it. The one lie that kills dreams? I don't feel like it. It sounds harmless, but it's deadly. Because you'll rarely feel like writing, or training, or building, or beginning. And that's okay. Because the real ones, they move anyway. They feel the resistance and still rise. They don't argue with the feeling. They override it. Because greatness isn't built on feeling. It's built on follow-through. You don't need to feel like it. You need to act like it's already who you are. Procrastination hates preparation. Here's how to beat it before it even begins. Prepare the night before. Set the scene. Lay out the gear. Know the first step before the sun rises. Because hesitation loves confusion. It feeds off chaos. But when you wake up and know exactly what to do, procrastination has no room to speak. Morning starts the night before. Plan it, prime it, own it. Because starting strong isn't magic. It's prepared movement. Do it bad. Do it broken. Do it anyway. Perfection is another mask for procrastination. You say you're waiting for the right idea, the right words, the right moment. But what you're really doing is stalling. And the cure? Do it bad. Write the ugly first draft. Film the shaky video. Launch the rough version. Start when it's messy. Because messy action beats pristine paralysis every time. Done is better than perfect. And perfect is just another way to hide. So stop hiding. Start building. Even if it's ugly. Especially if it's ugly. Your future self is begging you to keep going. Imagine them. That future version of you. The one who didn't give up. They're out there. Thanking you for today. For not quitting. For showing up tired. For choosing 5 more minutes of focus instead of another scroll into nothingness. That version of you, they exist, but only if you earn them. They're not guaranteed. They're not promised. They're waiting for you to become worthy of meeting them. So every time you want to stop, every time you want to delay, think of them. Think of the version of you that's proud, free, fulfilled, and finished. And then, get back to work. Stop restarting. Start reigniting. You don't need to start from scratch. You don't need to begin again. You need to pick up the thread and keep weaving. That project you dropped? Pick it up. That habit you broke? Rebuild it. That dream you buried? Dig it out. Dust it off. And make it real. Restarting is exhausting. Reigniting is empowering. So don't reboot. Reclaim. Closing. You're not trying to be productive. You're trying to be powerful. Let's end this part with truth. This isn't about productivity hacks. This is about personal power. About becoming someone whose actions match their ambition. Whose life reflects their hunger. Whose days prove their purpose. You don't need to manage time. You need to master yourself. Because the most dangerous person alive is the one who does what must be done, whether they feel like it or not. And today, that person is you. You've made it this far, and that means something. It means you're no longer looking for motivation. You're not chasing hype. You're building something real. You've stepped out of the cycle. No more promising to begin, only to betray the promise. Now you execute. Now you follow through. And most of all, now you finish. Because starting is common. Finishing is rare. And rare is what you were made to be. The myth of balance. Let's break this illusion right now. The world will tell you to find balance. To slow down. To take it easy. But greatness has seasons, not balance. There are times to rest, yes. But there are also times to go dark and build. Obsess. Sacrifice. Laser in. This isn't about burnout. It's about alignment. Balance isn't equal time for everything. Balance is giving your full power to the right thing at the right time. And right now, it's your time to go all in. Stop consuming, start creating. You don't need another book right now. You don't need another video, another podcast, another planner. You need to create. To move from learning to building. From watching others to becoming what others watch. Because consumption without action is just delay in disguise. Start the project. Launch the idea. Say the thing that scares you. Turn your energy outward into action. Into impact. You weren't put here to absorb. You were put here to shape the world with your execution. The big 3. Energy, focus, execution. Let's simplify. Your whole success journey comes down to 3 forces. 1. Energy. Your fuel. 2. Focus. Your aim. 3. Execution. Your fire. Energy means you guard your sleep. You treat your body like a weapon. You protect your peace. Because you can't conquer the world from an empty tank. Focus means you don't scatter. One goal. One mission. One task at a time with total presence. Execution means you act fast. Ideas mean nothing without movement. Do it now. Do it tired. Do it ugly. Just do it. Master these 3, and you'll move through life like a storm no one can stop. Procrastination is a form of self-betrayal. Let's be honest. When you procrastinate, You're not just delaying tasks. You're betraying yourself. You made a promise to rise, to build, to become, and every time you break it, you chip away at your self-respect. But when you honor that promise, even in the smallest of ways, you grow stronger. Your word becomes bond. Your mind becomes armor. Your actions become undeniable proof of who you really are. So, ask yourself, every day, am I honoring the future I said I wanted, or am I betraying it? And then act accordingly. No one cares until you win, and that's a gift. Here's a cold truth. Nobody's clapping yet. Nobody's checking in on your progress. Nobody's cheering. Good. Because this is where the real ones are made. In silence. In solitude. In the grind that no one sees. You want the world to pay attention? Earn it. You want respect? Build results. You want to be seen? Then be worth seeing. Let the silence fuel you. Let the doubt sharpen you. Let every ignored effort turn into undeniable impact. Because when it's time to speak with your results, the world won't be able to look away. Your time is your vote. Every minute you spend is a vote for the life you want or the life you fear. You don't just pass time. You cast it. So every time you scroll instead of build, that's a vote. Every time you delay the thing that matters, that's a vote. But every rep, every sentence, every task finished, that's a vote for your future. That's you electing your excellence. Cast your time with intention. Cast it like your life depends on it, because it does. Remember, done is divine. You'll be tempted to tweak it, to delay until it's perfect, to wait until it's ready. But perfection isn't noble. It's a stalling tactic. It's fear, dressed up in gold. So finish it. Even if it's flawed, even if it's messy. Ship it, share it, send it. Then do it again, and again, and again. Because greatness doesn't come from one perfect move. It comes from 1,000 imperfect ones, stacked high like a monument. Done is the doorway. Walk through it. Closing. You're not just killing procrastination. You're becoming your future. This is bigger than delay. Bigger than time management. This is about who you're choosing to become. Every choice is identity. Every action is character. You're not killing procrastination for the sake of being more productive. You're doing it because your future demands it. You're doing it because you've got something to build, something to say, something to leave behind. You're not here to float through time. You're here to forge it. And today, you're doing just that. There comes a moment in every transformation where the battle shifts. You stop trying to escape the old version of you, and you start embodying the new one. You're no longer running from procrastination. You're walking straight into purpose. You're no longer dragging yourself through the work. You're driven by the identity that work builds. And that's what this part is about. Not just what you do, but who you're becoming. The difference between effort and identity. Let's draw a line. Effort says, I'll try. Identity says, this is who I am. Effort comes and goes with your energy. Identity shows up even on your worst day. You want to stop procrastinating? Then stop trying to force action and become someone who doesn't delay. I am consistent. I am disciplined. I finish what I start. Not because it's easy, because it's true. And when your behavior matches your beliefs, that's when change becomes permanent. Self-discipline is the ultimate self-respect. You treat what you love with care. So why do you keep treating your time like it's disposable? Why do you protect your phone more than your purpose? Why do you guard your comfort more than your calling? Discipline isn't restriction. It's respect. It says, I take my potential seriously. It says, I'm not wasting what I was given. It says, I believe in who I'm becoming. And self-respect isn't a feeling. It's a practice. One decision at a time. One day at a time. If you want to love yourself more, do more things you respect. Being tired isn't the end. It's the signal to rise. You'll feel tired, exhausted, tempted to coast. But here's the shift. Tired doesn't mean stop. It means refocus. It means lean in. It means remember why you started. Because the truth is, you've survived worse. You've powered through pain before. You've pushed when there was nothing left to push with. And here you are, still standing, still breathing, still fighting. So don't confuse fatigue with failure. You're not failing. You're forging. The 24-hour rule of mastery. Want to kill procrastination in its tracks? Here's a simple, brutal rule. Never let 24 hours pass without progress. Doesn't have to be huge. Doesn't have to be pretty. But every single day something gets done. A page written. A set completed. A plan reviewed. A call made. A door knocked on. Because when you touch your goals daily, they stay alive. They stay real. Miss one day? Fine. Miss two? You're building a new habit and not a good one. So anchor yourself to movement. Daily. Relentlessly. Without exception. When you resist action, do it faster. This might sound wild, but the moment you feel resistance rise, speed up. Don't hesitate. Don't negotiate. Don't give your brain time to build the excuse. Just go. You feel that inner, I don't want to? Turn it into, watch me. Get up. Move faster. Dive into the task like it owes you everything, because it does. Speed kills hesitation. Speed silences fear. Speed cuts procrastination off at the knees. So act before the doubt finishes its sentence. Your attention is your power. Guard it with your life. Let's talk focus. Not the kind you force. The kind you defend. Because every notification, a thief. Every scroll session, a sedative. Your brain was built for deep, sustained concentration. But we've rewired it for chaos. Reclaim it. Silence the noise. Close the tabs. Put the phone in a drawer across the room. You're not fragile. You're just overstimulated. Simplify your inputs. Strengthen your output. Protect your attention like it's sacred, because it is. From I'll try to I will. You've said I'll try too many times. And every time procrastination hears it as permission. It means you haven't decided. It means you're still flirting with the option to fail. No more. Now it's, I will write this. I will finish this. I will show up. Not maybe. Not someday. Will. Your words are spells. And this is your new language of power. This is the birth of your final form. You've torn through distractions. You've dismantled excuses. You've faced the shadow of who you were. And now, you rise. You're no longer someone trying to be disciplined. You are disciplined. You're no longer someone trying to stop procrastinating. You don't procrastinate. Because this isn't a trick. This isn't a phase. This is a rebirth. The old you? They served their purpose. They carried you this far. But now it's time to bury them with honor and rise as the version of you who executes without hesitation. This is your becoming. This is your arrival. And you are just getting started. You've made it this far for a reason. And it's not because you got lucky. It's because you refused to settle. You're not the same person who started this. You don't even think the same way anymore. Because something inside you shifted. And that shift can't be undone. That old life, the one of delay, distraction, hesitation, it's gone. Because you burned it. Now the only thing left to do is build without fear. Your new default. I execute. This is the truth now. You don't think about doing it. You do it. It's your reflex. It's your rhythm. It's your nature. Because real power doesn't come from bursts of energy. It comes from becoming the kind of person who moves first, thinks later. Not impulsive. Decisive. You don't wait for inspiration. You don't check your mood. You wake up and act like the outcome already belongs to you. Because it does. You are the system. Forget the apps. Forget the planners. Forget the tools you thought would save you. You are the system. It's in your spine now. In your breath. In the way your eyes scan the day like it's territory to conquer. You've hardwired execution into your operating system. You don't rely on memory. You rely on structure. Your life is now a machine, aligned with vision, fueled by discipline, sharpened by intention. And that machine? It doesn't slow down. It compounds. The most dangerous version of you, consistent, yaone, quiet. You've outgrown the need to prove. You've outgrown the noise. You don't need to shout anymore. You show. You don't need applause. You need progress. Because your consistency now whispers louder than any post ever could. And the world won't see it coming. Until the results are undeniable. Until one day, they ask, "How did you build this?" And all you'll say is, "I just didn't stop." Repetition builds the reputation you haven't met yet. You've been stacking wins. Small ones. Daily ones. Quiet ones. And now, they're starting to show. In how you walk. How you speak. How you sit at your desk and don't flinch. Your confidence isn't noise. It's evidence. And every rep you complete builds a reputation you haven't fully stepped into yet. But it's close. It's here. It's becoming you. So, keep going. Not for the hype, but for the history. You're not beating procrastination. You've outgrown it. You don't fight with toys once you become a warrior. You don't wrestle with shadows when you've become the light. Procrastination is no longer a threat. It's a memory. Because you're no longer asking, "How do I start?" You're asking, "How do I refine, optimize, scale, master?" That's evolution. That's what this entire journey was for. The fear that once froze you, now, you chase it. The work that once overwhelmed you, now you command it. You're not fighting yourself anymore. You've aligned. This is what greatness feels like, and it's quiet. It's not loud. It's not flashy. It doesn't always feel like victory. Greatness feels like routine. Like showing up tired. Like choosing action when no one will ever see it. Like cleaning up your schedule like a monk with a sword. It's not sexy, but it's sacred. This is greatness. Saying no without guilt. Finishing before the deadline. Building without applause. Waking up and moving forward like a machine with a heart. It's not a moment. It's a lifestyle. And you're living it now. Closing. You are the one who broke the cycle. Let's end this part with clarity. You didn't just defeat procrastination. You ended a legacy of delay. You broke the cycle your past self was trapped in. You did what generations before you never dared to finish. You stopped saying, "Someday." You stopped being afraid of the work. You stopped watching your life from the sidelines. And now, you build. Not once. Not when it's convenient. Every single day. Because this is who you are now. A force. A finisher. A closer. And this is your new truth. You don't get ready. You stay ready. You didn't come this far to stop here. You didn't break the chains just to walk away. You didn't survive the fire just to live like smoke. This isn't a phase anymore. This is the blueprint for the rest of your life. You've built consistency. You've crafted discipline. Now it's time to cement identity. The world doesn't need another half-motivated soul. It needs you fully activated. Let's make this permanent. The shift from struggle to standard. You know how you used to fight procrastination every day? How it felt like a war? A constant tug-of-war with yourself. That's over. The war becomes quiet when the work becomes a standard. You don't wrestle with brushing your teeth. You just do it. And now, you write. You build. You grind. You focus. Not because you're forcing it, but because it's just what you do now. That's the final shift. That's when you stop fighting and start living as the weapon. The procrastinator is dead, but the world doesn't know yet. You've changed. You feel it. But don't expect the world to catch up immediately. They still remember the old you. The one who started but didn't finish. The one who talked big but moved small. And that's okay. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Because you're not here for recognition. You're here for results. Sooner or later, the results speak. And when they do, the silence will be deafening. There's a difference between being busy and being built. The world loves being busy. It glorifies the hustle. The calendar's stuffed with chaos. But you're not here to be busy. You're here to be built. To build a mind that doesn't flinch. A body that follows orders. A schedule that bends to vision. A legacy that outlives your noise. You're not in motion. You're in alignment. And alignment doesn't rush. It locks in. So while they sprint in circles, you move in straight lines. Because builders don't panic, they plan. The tide is turning, and you're leading it. You think this ends with you. No. You're becoming the lighthouse. People are watching. People are listening. People who haven't told you yet are being changed by your example. And that's what this is really about. You kill procrastination in you, so you can bury it in others, too. Not with lectures. Not with advice. With your life. With your calm focus. With your relentless follow-through. With your refusal to let your purpose die. You don't just beat procrastination. You become a reason others do, too. You aren't just doing the work, you're wearing it. Let me ask you something. When people see you walk into a room, do they feel your focus? They should. They should feel the discipline in your posture, the intensity in your eyes, the steadiness in your breath. Because when you've done this much inner work, when you've rebuilt yourself from the ruins of delay and distraction, it shows. You don't even have to speak. You just exist like purpose. And that energy? It's rare. It's magnetic. It's undeniable. That's what happens when you wear the work. Not for status, but because it's now who you are. There is no off-season for purpose. Athletes take off-seasons. Amateurs take breaks. But people on a mission? There is no off-switch. Rest, yes. Recharge, yes. But disappear into distraction? Never again. Your purpose is not part-time. Your vision is not seasonal. Your dream doesn't get weekends off. It's always there, burning behind your eyes, guiding your choices, shaping your habits. So, no, you don't need a vacation from your mission. You need a life that feels like alignment with it. Your life is your proof. You've spoken enough. You've planned enough. You've dreamed enough. Now, your life is the message. Every action, every hour, every task completed without hesitation, every time you move without drama, every moment you execute when no one claps. That's the proof. You don't need to prove anything. Just keep doing the work. Because in the end, they'll say, they never stopped. And they'll be right. You are not becoming someone new. You're uncovering who you were always meant to be. Buried under distractions. Drowned in doubt. Muted by expectations. Paralyzed by perfection. But now you've remembered. Now you've returned. Not to comfort, but to clarity. Not to what's easy, but to what's necessary. You're no longer crawling out of procrastination. You're carving the path for others to follow. This is what freedom looks like. You've switched from insecure to inevitable. Let's call it what it is. You used to wonder if you could. Now you know you will. You used to hope the discipline would stick. Now it's inked into your bones. This isn't confidence. This is certainty. You don't have to yell it. You don't have to prove it. You walk like someone who doesn't flinch. You think like someone who's already arrived and is now only fulfilling destiny. Because this isn't about potential anymore. It's about inevitability. Your environment bends to your energy. You've shifted, and everything around you feels it. People speak to you differently now. Opportunities start showing up. Distractions feel heavier. Clarity feels magnetic. That's what happens when you become consistent. The world doesn't just see it. It adjusts to it. Because your energy isn't passive anymore. It's directive. You're not a leaf in the wind. You're the one who moves the air. So walk like your presence has gravity. Because it does. You've chosen purpose over pleasure. Look at your choices now. They've evolved. You choose discipline over dopamine, delay over instant gratification, progress over perfection, focus over everything. And the best part? You don't resent it. You relish it. Because it's not sacrifice anymore, it's alignment. It's not missing out, it's moving up. You've learned the secret the world avoids. Freedom lives inside discipline. And you are free now. Your past is no longer a cage, it's a foundation. You used to look at your past and see failure, shame, missed time, wasted years. Now, you see it for what it was. Training, all those delays, lessons, all that fear, fuel, all that hesitation, evidence that you're not that person anymore. You don't carry your past like baggage. You wear it like armor. It doesn't haunt you. It protects you. It reminds you of how far you've climbed and how high you're still going. The hunger doesn't fade, it focuses. This isn't the kind of motivation that burns out. This is hunger with direction. You don't want everything. You want the right thing with a fire so clear, it scorches doubt. You used to want change. Now you require it. You used to want success. Now you expect it. Not with ego, with evidence. Because you've put in the work. Because you've stayed when others fled. Because you've shown up when it was the hardest to do so. That hunger is your advantage. And it doesn't fade, it sharpens. You don't rise to the occasion, you fall to your habits. Let's get tactical. Your life will never rise above your routines. Not your dreams. Not your motivation. Your routines. So you've built them to be bulletproof. Morning time equals sacred. First hour, focused. Phone, not the master anymore. Work deep, deliberate, non-negotiable. Breaks, intentional, not escapes. Your habits are now the floor you fall to. And that floor is higher than most people's ceiling. This is how greatness is sustained. Not in sprints, but in standards. Closing. The finisher walks alone until the world catches up. Let me tell you something few will admit. The finisher's path is often lonely. Because while others start strong, you keep going. While they pivot for applause, you press forward in silence. While they fade, you finish. And in that solitude, you will build what the world can't ignore. Because the finisher doesn't chase followers. They chase completion. And when it's done, truly done, the world won't ask why you disappeared. They'll say, how did they do all this? And you'll smile. Because the answer was always simple. I stopped waiting, and I never looked back. There's a moment where change becomes permanent. Where it's no longer what you're trying to do, but who you are now. That moment? It's this one. Because you didn't just fight procrastination. You outlived it. You outgrew it. You've rewritten your code, redesigned your days, and restructured your soul. Now, there's only one thing left to do. Live like it's already yours. The day starts with you, or it owns you. You've learned the difference between existing and commanding your day. The old, you woke up and checked the phone. Waited for urgency. Reacted to life like it was a game they were losing. Now, you build the day before it begins. You rise with clarity. You move with intention. You don't chase energy, you generate it. Your mornings aren't chaotic. They're sacred. And if you win the morning, you own the day. This is your ground zero. Every day, every time. You no longer fear consistency, you crave it. You used to fear repetition, the grind, the quiet days, the lack of fireworks. But now, you crave it. You trust it. Because you've seen what it creates. You've seen what it becomes. You've seen how boring actions compound into unbreakable identity. There's peace in knowing what to do next. There's power in doing it without hesitation. And there's freedom in no longer needing to be motivated. You just move. Like rain falling. Like muscle memory. Like destiny calling you back into place. This is what consistency feels like. Freedom with rhythm. The fire now lives in your eyes, not just your words. You don't need to prove anything now. Your discipline speaks for itself. Your results whisper your story. And your eyes? They burn with focus, the kind people can feel when you enter the room. You've moved from saying, "I'm trying," to simply being. There's nothing louder than quiet confidence. Nothing more magnetic than the presence of someone who has done the work. You don't need to raise your voice. You don't even need to explain. You exist like purpose, and it's felt. Every task is a brick in the monument you're building. That thing you're doing today, that small step, that mundane action, that single rep, it matters. Because you're not just checking boxes. You're stacking bricks. Brick by brick, you're building your masterpiece. Your reputation. Your legacy. Your immortality. Every action you take is another layer. Not just for the result, but for the person it's building in you. The world may not see it yet. But you see it. You feel it. And you trust the vision more than the noise. The difference between who you were and who you are? Simple. You used to negotiate with weakness. Now you don't answer its calls. You used to flinch when it got hard. Now you lean in. You used to postpone. Now you prioritize. You used to build excuses. Now you build results. You used to scroll. Now you strike. That's growth. That's transformation. That's what happens when you burn the exit routes and live like there's no plan B. Because there isn't. There's just you and the mission. Your standards are a shield against the world's chaos. The world is loud, chaotic, pulling in 1,000 directions. But you don't flinch. Why? Because your standards are clearer than the noise. You know what time you wake up. You know what matters and what doesn't. You know what to say no to without guilt. You know your lane and you stay in it with power. You've built walls around your energy, gates around your focus, and a fortress around your vision. Not out of fear, but out of respect for your own purpose. You've mastered the art of now. Here's what separates you now from the one who used to wait. You don't delay. You decide. You don't put things off. You lean into them. You don't give time away to later. You take it back through action. Because later is the language of procrastination. And now is the vocabulary of power. Everything lives in now. The momentum. The legacy. The transformation. And that's where you live now too. Closing. The mission isn't over, it's just becoming permanent. Let's be clear. This journey doesn't end with this script. It doesn't end when you hit your goal. It doesn't end when people finally see what you've become. It ends when your mission is complete. And if you're breathing, it's not done yet. You've built something few ever find: total personal power. You don't need a breakthrough anymore. You are the breakthrough. So from this day forward, you don't wait. You don't waver. You don't disappear. You move. You build. You finish. And the world? It adjusts to your new rhythm or it gets left behind. You've walked through it all. The hesitation, the confusion, the storm. You've buried the weaker version. You've broken the cycle. You've built yourself brick by brick. And now, you've reached the summit. This isn't where the journey ends. This is where it stays. Because now, you own the altitude. You don't fall anymore. You anchor here. You live here. You are now built for the work, not just the win. You used to chase the high, the finish line, the applause, the reward. But something changed. Now, you're not addicted to the outcome. You're in love with the process. You don't wait for momentum. You generate it. You don't fear the grind. You become it. You're not just chasing dreams. You're embodying discipline. That's the switch. That's when you stop playing the game and start setting the rules. The proof is in your presence. People can feel it now. That edge in your eyes. That calm in your voice. That silence that doesn't beg for validation. You don't have to explain. You don't have to post. You don't have to convince. You exist like execution. You radiate follow-through. Because the proof isn't in your potential. It's in your patterns. And your patterns now say, I don't quit. I don't wait. I don't lose myself again. You move in purpose, even when you're not moving at all. Some days you sprint. Some days you walk. Some days you crawl. But the direction? Always forward. Even in your stillness, you're healing for the mission. Resting for the next wave. Sharpening the blade. Because now, every breath serves something greater. Every thought feeds your momentum. Every choice echoes down the line of your future. You don't drift anymore. You drive. You speak to yourself differently now. Remember how you used to talk to yourself? I'll probably fail. I'm not ready. I don't feel like it. That voice is gone. Now it's, I've done harder things. This is who I am now. Let's go. Your internal world is no longer a battlefield. It's a command center. And the voice leading it? Yours. Clear, unshakable, focused. You don't need to fight the old voice. You just speak louder with action. You choose vision over vibes. You don't wait to be in the mood. You don't check how you feel before you move. You check your mission. You look at your vision. You remember the future you refuse to abandon. And then, you move. Because now, your feelings don't control your effort. Your vision does. That's what makes you unstoppable. That's what makes your progress inevitable. And that's what makes you a leader of self. The rarest kind. You've made discipline a love language. You don't resent the routines anymore. You respect them. You've learned that discipline is not the enemy. It's not a cage. It's proof of care. Every time you show up, you say, I believe in this. I honor myself. I love what I'm building too much to treat it casually. Discipline is how you say, I'm all in. And now you speak it fluently with your actions. That's self-respect. That's real love. You aren't just the student anymore, you're the example. You came here to kill procrastination. But you've done more than that. You've become the kind of person others point to and say, that's what it looks like. That's who I want to be. That's how I want to move. You've become the proof. You've become the lighthouse. And not by preaching, not by pushing, but by becoming so consistent they can't ignore you anymore. The final truth, it was never about procrastination. Let's tell the truth, once and for all. This wasn't about finishing a task. It was about becoming someone who finishes. This wasn't about time management. It was about self-respect. This wasn't about hacks or habits. It was about healing the relationship you had with your potential. Because procrastination was never the real enemy. It was the symptom. The real enemy was doubt. And you just burned it to the ground. Now the ashes are behind you. And the road ahead? It's yours. You are the final form. This is not motivation. This is identity. This is not hype. This is history in motion. You've become what they said was rare. What they said would fade. What most only chase for a week and forget by morning. You've become disciplined. You've become decisive. You've become dangerous to delay. This is your signature moment. So go. Move. Lead. Not because you're finished. Because now, you never stop. The journey is done. The path is paved. The chains are shattered. The old self is gone, but you're still here. And what matters now isn't what you've heard, or what you've written down, or what stirred your soul in the last 30,000 words. What matters now is what you do next. Not someday. Not when the timing feels magical. Now, because all of this, the discipline, the momentum, the fire, the framework, it only lives if you keep breathing life into it. This script dies if it sits unread. It fades if it's not lived. So carry it. Make your mornings a battleground for greatness. Make your nights a review of honor. Make your life a warning to procrastination. You can't live here anymore. This house belongs to the future now. You are no longer trying to improve. You are the improvement. You are no longer waiting for the spark. You are the spark. You are no longer walking in the shadow of potential. You are the light. So burn bright. Not for likes. Not for followers. Not for applause. Burn for the kid inside you who almost gave up. Burn for the future version of you watching with pride. Burn for the dream that once whispered, "Please don't forget me." One more breath, one more page, one more rep, one more step. Every day. Until your name becomes synonymous with discipline. Until your story becomes the reason someone else rises. Until your life becomes the proof that procrastination doesn't win here anymore. This is your legacy. This is your fire. This is your moment. To go so far into action, you never find your way back to hesitation again. Now close this script and go finish your becoming.